Is the internet destroying relationships that happen offline? And that was a question that was posed by one of the chatters at live.perillo.com. It's a good question to ask. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. Some would say, yes, it's destroying my real relationships. And that makes me think, well, what do you mean real relationships? I mean, I have a relationship with everybody who's in the chat room now. I mean, I may not know everybody on a personal basis, but I can tell you the people who come in on a regular basis, I do get to know them for the most part. I mean, as much as they type and then have useful, feedback. And I also start to recognize different names and handles throughout the internet. And, a lot of people are friendly. And the jerks I tend to forget or, remember and then learn to avoid. But those are real relationships. They may not be offline relationships. I was in college at the time that the internet was not really widely available. This is in the days before AOL, most certainly. And I used the internet to connect with people from other universities, largely, on a BBS called ISCA. And I was on ISCA BBS for a few years, and I finally lost my handle. It was The Locker Gnome, starting in 1992. In fact, I've met other people who remember me from ISCA. It's funny. It's like, I used to be Trip Shakespeare. Like, what? No way! Oh my god! It's just freaky. It's just weird. But you get to know a personality online. And I used, admittedly, these mechanisms to communicate with other people to, drive around the state of Iowa, where I grew up and, went to college, of course. And all around the region, really, meeting people. And sometimes... going out and hooking up with, big parties that were going on. And I did internet dating before there was internet dating. And you get to know someone as much as you can, or, know that it's likely that this person is a real person. It'd be really weird, though, because you'd communicate with someone online and they'd be all, they'd be very... creative, and they'd be very intelligent, and I'm not saying that when you met them offline they weren't, but sometimes their personalities, written did not translate to their personalities in person, which just kind of boggled my mind. Like, to me, if I go LOL, I'm like, ha, whereas some people I'd see them go LOL, and their whole emotion and expression goes in here. And remember, this is like way back in the day. So if we had a webcam, I mean, we were lucky, but even so, the other person would be able to view the webcam. It was next to impossible. So there were no real digital photos. There was certainly no live video. Certainly for these interpersonal communications. These are just a pipe dream, right? At that point. So you could only experience someone from the way they were able to write. And sometimes that didn't even translate well. I don't think the internet has destroyed offline relationships. I think it's made it easier for us to discover similarities where we may not have known those similarities previously existed. And, the internet is a great tool that potentially tears down barriers that otherwise would have been erected. And I know people now that I probably, even if we went to the same school or were in the same classes, I don't know if I'd hang out with on a regular basis. I mean, like I said, I'm connecting with people that I believe I'm having a genuine relationship with. And I mean relationship like I'm connected with them, not like, relationship, friendship, connection, a friend. I have more in common with Datalore, who's in Ireland, or Mike, who's in the Netherlands. I have more in common with these two guys than I do people who live down the street. So that's a relationship. That's a friendship. The internet is just another connection tool. Instead of meeting someone and shaking their hand in person, well, I'm shaking their hand on the internet. I appreciate them for who they are, not necessarily where they live, not necessarily, being in the same room as them. Just because you have a connection with someone that's a legitimate connection using digital means doesn't make it any less of a connection at all. It's just another way of connecting with someone. So there are, tools that are consistently evolving making it easier for us to make offline connections through the internet, and sometimes vice versa. Usually the other way around, though. And I'm just curious to know what tools you use to enhance your offline relationships. What internet-based tools you use to enhance your offline relationships. And might I throw in here that Ponzi and I met on Match.com. We would not have met were it not for the internet. I mean, go figure. I mean, where else was I going to find someone? A bar? Come on. I'm still getting ID'd. I'm 34 years old and I still get ID'd. Unlike Paul Bunyan over here. Sorry, I got my friend Andy Stanbury from He's a Geek. Go, pop your head in, Andy. Andy was just saying that Twitter made a wonderful tool. See, I'm not kidding. It's Paul Bunyan here. Check out this beard. Seriously. Dude, it's like it's a nest in here, dude. Check that out. Check that out. He's mopping my floors later. It's great.
That's right, yeah.
I think I heard a robin nesting in there. Impressive.
Don't eat much.
You're getting a plus, I guess, for your facial hair. I can't grow mine very long. It just ends up looking like up here. So I walk around with like a, poof ball here. It just doesn't work.
I'm getting the peninsula.
We met on the internet.
That's right.
And now he's coming out here to help develop some stuff so that everybody gets to play with it. Open source and everything. But, we made a legitimate connection. In fact, he Twittered the fact that he had landed, and that's how Kat knew that you were here. And so, because Kat's got a connection. Kat! Tell them what happened to you the other day. This is great, guys. This is great. If she's even paying attention. She's probably fallen asleep by now, I'm guessing. Kat?
Oh, wow. Of course I'm paying attention.
All right, tell them what happened to you the other day.
I'll tell him. Okay, it's just really laggy, so you have to bear with that.
Can you guys hear?
Okay, so I went somewhere to pick up my new laptop for my trip to Seattle. And I got to talking with the guy that was selling it to me, and he was asking me, well, why are you so particular? What would you possibly need a laptop with this much power for? Which kind of irked me, but I let it go. And I explained to him that I do a lot of processor-intensive things, such as, encoding the videos for Chris and such. And no comments in the peanut gallery over there. I see the faces you're making, even though you're muted there, Chris. So anyways, I hadn't mentioned Chris's name yet, and the guy kept kind of pushing. He goes, well, I'm a geek, and I'm online all the time. What do you do? Do I know anything you've done? And I'm like, well, I do some stuff for this guy. His name's like Chris Perlow. And he just stopped, and he was like, his mouth dropped, and he goes, oh, my God, you're Kat. I was like, yeah, okay. It was cool, but it was kind of freaky.
So cool. So now that makes, of the two people who've been through Vent, at least, you and Alan have now been recognized on the streets, in real life after, being on the internet. And there's another person.
That just means we're the two that talk the most on Vent with you.
But it's funnier. There's someone else out in the chat room who said that apparently he was kind of in the same scenario, and somehow he walked into a similar shop and someone had the live stream going on. Someone in the shop had live.perillo.com going, and the guy walked in and says, "You're in the chat room! Oh my God!" And now they're friends. It's just cool. I don't know there's something about that. It's just, to me, I love it. I eat it up. I love it. That's how I've only been recognized for my YouTube videos, at least that I know of, once. Which is neat because, it's better than, television. YouTube is, big, huge, bigger than television could ever hope to have gotten. And television's pretty big, especially big televisions. Those plasma screens. Whoo! Let me tell you. So, yes, you will be meeting Kat, kind of in real life. Well, through the stream. But anyway, anybody else have any experiences they want to throw in about offline, online relationships? Go ahead. My email address is chris@perillo.com. You're also welcome to swing by the website where we're streaming video 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you never really know what's going to happen. And you can you can pretty much guess that there's going to be something going on. We got tons of chatters. In fact, 500 people watching the live video feed right now, and hundreds of people sitting in the chat room, even this late at night, largely because I'm taunting them with a giveaway. They love that. They love when I give things away. I love giving things away too. But the only way to participate in that is for you to take time out of your day or just run into the background. It's really simple. You've got a web browser, I'm assuming, so you can get to websites. So do it already. We're at live.perillo.com. We'll see you later.